Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your humble host, Save Our Children TV, back at it for a brand new video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below to be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. Please make sure to hit up my second YouTube channel, that is Crime Time, and hit up my third channel, Charles Reactions, so you'll be notified every single time I drop a brand new video on my channel. Subscribe to all three of my channels, like my videos, and don't forget to um, hit up the Cash App at money sign capital C PA 106. That's in the description down below. Today I have four stories for you guys, and these stories are hard to fathom. But our first story is about a 10-year-old boy out of Wisconsin who was arrested after killing his mother because she wouldn't buy him a VR headset off Amazon. And then a second story is out of Texas that took place yesterday. A FedEx driver was arrested for murdering and kidnapping a 7-year-old Texas girl. And then third story is a Buffalo teen pleads guilty to stabbing a student in Buffalo Culinary School. Then our last story is the couple who's found guilty in the death of 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney. You might have heard about that story. I think I never talked about it on the story. I'm going to give you the details of the story, and then I'm going to give you the update to the story. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. 10-year-old boy, I'm on the CBS News. And it says 10-year-old Wisconsin boy is charged as an adult in fatal shooting of mother over Amazon order of VR headset. The boy has been charged with first-degree reckless homicide in the November 21st fatal shooting of his mother, Quiana Mann. A 10-year-old Wisconsin boy has been charged as an adult with first-degree reckless homicide after he fatally shot his mother. Telling police he was upset she wouldn't let him buy a virtual reality headset on his own. The shooting unfolded at 6:50 a.m. November the 21st in the 7400 block of North 87th Street in Milwaukee. Just a day later, the boy went on to buy an Oculus virtual reality headset on his dead mother's Amazon account and even asked his grandmother whether his package had arrived, according to the criminal complaint. His 44-year-old mother, identified by NBC affiliate WTMJ of Milwaukee as Quiana Mann, was shot at close range. The bullet entered her right eye and exited the back of her head through her skull, the criminal complaint said. The boy initially told investigators that his mom woke him up at 6 a.m. and that he retrieved her gun from her bedroom and went to the basement where she was doing laundry. The complaint says he was twirling the gun around his finger. It accidentally went off, the complaint said. After he killed his mother, he went to the second story bedroom to awaken his 26-year-old sister, who discovered the mother was dead and called 911, according to the complaint. But in later interviews with the police, the boy admitted he was not twirling the gun around when he shot his mom, the complaint said. He admitted that his mother would not allow him to have something from Amazon. Admitted that he would shoot the gun because he was mad at her for waking him up at 6 a.m. when he usually sleeps until 6:30 a.m. And admitted going into his mother's keys to get her gun lock box the night before, according to the complaint. He went to the basement and took up a shooting stance. The complaint said he said his mother walked in front of him when he tried to shoot the wall to scare her, and he admitted that he shot her in the face when he admitted that he shot her in the face when she was approximately 3 feet away, the complaint said. He then put the gun in the living room closet and woke up his sister, it said. The complaint said the boy admitted to knowing that the gun was dangerous and can kill people. His sister told police that the boy had rage issues all his life and became very angry and upset. The complaint said the boy told investigators that he has 5 different imaginary people that talk to him. A therapist who had been meeting with the boy gave him a concerning diagnosis It says that prior to the complaint, no further details on the diagnosis were detailed. The mother had also placed cameras in their home to watch 2 weeks ago before the shooting. The sister learned from her mother that someone had unplugged the cameras, the complainant said. Police also interviewed other family members, including an aunt of the boy, who told police he never cried and showed no remorse about his mother's death. The morning after the shooting on November the 22nd, the boy logged onto his mother's Amazon account and ordered an Oculus virtual reality headset. His sister told investigators. The same morning, his aunt took him to his grandmother's house to meet with the Child Protective Services workers. The affidavit said that when he arrived, he saw his grandmother crying and stated without any empathy or compassion, "I'm really sorry for what happened. I'm sorry for killing my mom." After he apologized for killing his mother, he then asked if his Amazon package arrived. The boy made his initial court appearance Friday and a cash bond of $50,000 was set. Online records show his next status hearing is set for Wednesday. If he is convicted, he faces a maximum of 60 years in prison. NBC News has asked the boy's lawyer for comment. I'm going to play the news video.
Power on. Bluetooth mode. Bluetooth connected.
It's still a surprise when there's a shooting around. It's usually it's a quiet neighborhood.
Steve Frisch has lived near 87th and Hemlock for more than 2 decades. His quiet neighborhood was shaken up last week after police say a 10-year-old boy killed his mother. Frisch described the family as average.
They just asked me how I'm doing and stuff like that.
According to a criminal complaint, the boy originally told police he accidentally shot his mom when he was twirling the gun, but the next day, the family called police with serious concerns. They say the boy told his aunt he was actually aiming the gun at his mother. According to detectives, the boy said he got the gun because he was mad at his mom for waking him up at 6 in the morning and that she would not allow him to order a virtual reality headset from Amazon. Police say the boy told them he got the gun by taking his mom's keys to the gun safe. He says he took up a shooting stance and that he wanted to shoot the wall to scare her, but she walked in front of him. Family told the police the boy had, quote, rage issues all his life, and at 4 years old picked up a puppy by its tail and swung it around until it whined in pain. The criminal complaint states that 6 months ago, the 10-year-old filled a balloon with flammable liquid and set it on fire, which caused a sectional and carpet in their home to catch fire. A sibling told police the 10-year-old was meeting with a therapist who gave him a concerning diagnosis that led his mother to place cameras inside their home. The cameras were unplugged 2 weeks ago. A family member told police, quote, they felt bad for not stepping in earlier because they knew that eventually.
All right. This 10-year-old, this 10-year-old obviously has some type of behavioral issues going on, and this is the thing. I feel like this child.
You're not gonna ask, you just gonna go in my room and take it?
He was at school. I was gonna ask you if you went to school this morning. I apologize. I do. I do.
What time was you up this morning? You give me my sweater. Put the shirt up with it. I'm gonna wash it. Hey, close that door! Hey, hurry up.
As I was saying, they should have took this child for an evaluation, and I wonder if the father's on child life because I didn't hear nothing about the biological father, and that's something that children sometimes go through when they don't have both parents in the house. So they go through trauma and they act out of like I don't know how to say out of anger, but yeah, sad situation all around. You have a mother who's dead. You have a 10-year-old who's in jail or in juvenile for the crime for killing his mother over a gaming set. You have again a 10-year-old who's possibly facing 60 years in prison behind this. You have family who's don't know what to do, and it affected everybody. Crimes like this affects the whole family because it's a hard situation to go through. I wish the family well during this hard time, and I wish and hope that this team will get the help that he needs while he's locked up. I think that they have resources put in place while he's incarcerated and doing that detention that can help him in the long run. So once he get that help, and then if he get convicted, unfortunately, sent to prison to do 60 years or whatever sentence the judge gives him, that he gets his mind it's so that he changes while he's doing his time. And again, most likely, he's not gonna get the full 60 years. He's 10 years old. I mean, come on. The, the least amount they might give him is 15 to 20 years. I don't think they're gonna give him the full 60. I think that's just something they have right now on the table, but I think a plea deal or a deal, in the long run, they're gonna take that off the table and give him a plea deal. Um, but I'm pretty sure that he's not gonna go to actual big boy prison instead of a 60-year sentence. Even if they say if he's charged as an adult, why would they have him in a juvenile detention center? Why him be in actual jail? Which means that they're going to see if it's enough to have him go through to adult court. Um, whole thing is a tragedy. Over Oculus, I mean, how can you kill your own mother over a Oculus system? I mean, that's traumatic, you know. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let's move on to our next story. About this FedEx driver. I have a lot to say about this next story. This story coming out of CNN. Our next story is about a FedEx driver out of Texas who killed a 7-year-old girl. I'm going to talk about it right now. Who kidnapped and killed a 7-year-old girl. This is, I'm getting her name, Athena Strands. This is 7-year-old Athena Strands. And it says FedEx driver is arrested in the kidnapping and killing of a 7-year-old girl who went missing outside her home this week, police said. And scroll it up. A driver working for the FedEx was arrested and charged Friday in the kidnapping and killing of a 7-year-old girl who had disappeared from her home's driveway in Texas. Okay, back. Had to grab a charger this laptop. But I'm back. Let me read that article. So here is the article. A driver working for FedEx. A driver working for FedEx was arrested and charged Friday in the kidnapping and killing of a 7-year-old girl who had disappeared from her home's driveway in Texas earlier this week, police said. Athena Strand's body was recovered Friday evening, Wise County Sheriff Lane Aiken said in a news conference. It hurts her heart to know that child died, Aiken said Friday. It's one of the toughest investigations I've been involved in because it's a child. And every time there's a child that dies, it just hits you in the heart, he said. Athena was reported missing Wednesday, and authorities launched a search for her across Wise County, located northwest of Fort Worth. Authorities believe the young girl was killed within an hour after her kidnapping from her family's driveway, which is about 200 yards from her home. This monster, an animal, person, who is 31-year-old Tanner Lynn Horner, who is the suspect, who was arrested for capital murder and aggravated kidnapping. Tanner Lynn Horner, 31, is being held in the Wise County Jail on capital murder and aggravated kidnapping charges, according to its website. Bond was set at $1.5 million. Aiken said it was unclear whether Horner had an attorney Friday. Horner, identified by authorities as a contract driver for FedEx, was allegedly making a delivery to Athena's home at the time she disappeared. Earlier Friday, police said they received a tip that helped investigators determine Hunter adopted the child from her driveway. Strand's mother, Madeline Presley Gandy, said her daughter was taken from her by a sick, cruel monster for absolutely no reason, she wrote in a Facebook post on Saturday morning. I cannot describe the pain and absolute anger I felt. Missed her doesn't cover her.
Bluetooth
How I
connected.
felt. Gandy said in the post, accompanying a video of Athena, then age 3. I want the world to know my baby, my firstborn, my first true love, the reason I breathe. Athena is innocent, beautiful, kind, intelligent, and just the brightest, happiest soul you could ever meet. I don't want her to be the girl known as the one murdered and discarded by a monster. She added, I want everyone to know every single person in the world that is. I, I want everyone to know every single person in this world that this is my baby and my baby was taken from me. I want everyone to know her face and her voice and just to know how wonderful a person she is. Athena will be remembered for so much like her dream of growing up to be a Viking princess with tattoos just like her dad's, how much she loved her two little sisters her and her love for anything pink, her mother wrote. Authorities did not indicate a possible motive inside. Hunter did not know the family or the child according to Aiken. Athena's cause of death remains under investigation. Her body was transferred to the medical examiner's office Friday. Aiken said. Gandhi shared another Facebook post dedicated to thanking the hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers. As a mother, I know no one is as broken as I am. She wrote, adding that the official agencies who assisted in the investigation have all cried with me. It takes a special kind of person, and whether a child is yours or not, working crime scenes involving children are hard, she added. Thank you for finding my baby, and everyone wishes this would have ended differently. In a statement to CNN, FedEx expressed its sympathies and directed further questions to law enforcement. Here is the news conference. Give me a second. I'm gonna play it on another website on YouTube because the app ain't working. Oh, before I played a news video, I actually talked about the story, covered the story on my Crime Time channel. So if you have not watched my Crime Time channel, I would urge you to go over there. And I wanted to come on this channel also and talk about this story. Where? Oh, right here.
care instructions for my Gatsby. My gazpacho.
Mr. Henry Chicken.
Mr. Dirty Boy.
Investigators are scaling down the search for a missing child so they can focus now on developing more leads. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. The Wise County Sheriff says there is still no evidence of what happened to 7-year-old Athena Strand. She was reported missing Wednesday evening. An Amber Alert is still active, but there's no indication she was kidnapped. Fox 4's Alex Boyer has an update now from the sheriff. Alex.
Athena's biological mother showed up at the news conference today. She didn't want to talk on camera, but tells me she's desperate for her daughter to be home. Meanwhile, the sheriff says the folks
in a neighborhood near Fort Worth, Texas, flyers signify utter heartbreak.
is one of the toughest investigations that I've been involved in because it's a child.
A shaken sheriff Friday confirming 7-year-old Athena Strand has been found dead. Her body discovered less than 10 miles from her driveway, where investigators say 31-year-old FedEx driver Tanner Lynn Horner was making a delivery to her home when he kidnapped the girl. Athena's stepmother was reportedly inside.
I spent quite a bit of time with the family. They're devastated. They're angry.
The nightmare started Wednesday. Authorities say Athena got home from school around 4:30. 2 hours later, her stepmother, realizing she's gone, calls 911, prompting an Amber Alert and a massive search led by 200 volunteers. Then, a tip. Someone remembered seeing a delivery driver. Investigators working with the Texas Rangers and the FBI ID Horner. They believe he killed Athena within an hour of taking her.
I will say that we have a confession.
A search by NBC News revealed no criminal record for Horner, who authorities note is a contract driver with FedEx. Investigators working with the Texas Rangers and the FBI ID Horner. They believe he killed Athena within an hour of taking her.
I will say that we have a confession.
A search by NBC News revealed no criminal record for Horner, who authorities note is a contract driver with FedEx. The company writing, "Words cannot express our shock and sorrow," adding that FedEx contracts with independent businesses, and those employees are subject to criminal history background checks.
Stranger abduction and homicide is every parent's worst nightmare.
Okay, I'm going to close on my mics and thoughts on this. One thing I found interesting about this story is that I found crazy about the story is that the suspect has a bond. You know, I don't understand how you get a bond for killing a child. I just don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be more vigilant, okay? And I'm talking about the system. Got to be more vigilant on who we give bond to and who we don't give bond to. We give a bond to a person if you're a 7-year-old. I don't care if it's history is claiming. He shouldn't have a bond. If he it was easy for him to kill his child who was 7 years old, why won't it be easier for him to get out of jail and kill another person or kidnap another person? He's a kidnapper. Why are we giving this man behind? It's crazy to me. And we're not really thinking about what can happen to anybody else out here. $1.5 million. Even though you can't make that bond, I still don't think he should have had a bond at all. I don't. Absolutely not. He killed an innocent, precious child. And the child was getting off the school bus to go 200 yards across the street to go to the gate of her house and was kidnapped and killed by this FedEx monster. That's what he is. This monster. And the sad thing is that he confessed because he knows that he's facing a lot of time. Even if he confessed to it, I mean, you're hooking yourself up, but you're not hooking yourself up. Let me tell you why.
you're still gonna be found guilty. You're still gonna face the same amount of time that you're gonna face. And in this case, they need to still seek the death penalty, whether you confess or not. And I don't think you can get a plea deal on capital murder charges. So I think he's facing death penalty, and because this is in Texas. And at the end of the day, I bet you this not the first time he preyed on children. This isn't the first time he thought about kidnapping a child. It's not the first time. The first time he did it. First time he got caught. And we just gotta be more careful. You gotta be more careful. You gotta really focus and think about what we are doing and what we are doing to ourselves. Because we're putting ourselves in dangerous situations. You know, and again, FedEx, in my opinion, I understand you probably do background checks, but yeah, I didn't do it good enough. You know what I'm saying? Good enough, going through his history good enough. You know what I'm saying? I bet you his history ain't as what they thought it was. People can look okay at one point in time, but can look different in the face. So this guy knew what he was doing, and he planned this. I think this was a planned thing, and I think that his goal was to kidnap a child and kill a child. Do I think this child been the R word? Yes. I think he did more than kidnap and killed her. I'm sorry. I think he did more than that, but that's gonna come out in an investigation in a later time. And I just, in my opinion, this is what you call a monster. He's a real monster, and he deserves the rest of his life incarcerated, or the ultimate penalty under the law is the death penalty. Like, comment, and subscribe, hit that notification down below so you be notified every single time I drop a brand new video. RIP to Agafina. Let me get her name. RIP to Athena Strand. Athena Strand. Athena Strand is Strand. And to the victim's family, my condolences go to the family and the whole community of Texas. And this is just sad, the way that this child was taken out by this monster, this evil monster. And he needs to get the death penalty. I hate the death penalty, but he needs it. And he needs to do a hard time, if not the death penalty. He needs to do the rest of his life in prison with extra years added. He should never see what the color light looks like again. He needs to be in a cage and for the rest of his life. Like, comment, subscribe, turn post notification on. And we need to get justice for her and her family and her loved ones and everyone who is going through a hard time um, with this case. We're going to go to our third story, a Buffalo teen who pleaded guilty. And this is 3 days ago. This one's not going to have a news video. We're just going to talk about it. Teen, I'm going this article from WJZ, Channel 2 on your side. Teen pleads guilty to stabbing fellow student at Buffalo Culinary Arts School. A 16-year-old girl plead guilty on Thursday for stabbing a fellow student at Buffalo School of Culinary Arts and Hospitality Management. The teen, who is not being identified due to her age, pled guilty to one count of assault in the second degree, but was the only charge against her. The incident happened on September the 13th at Women's Restroom of the school in West Holland Street in Buffalo. The County District Attorney Office said the teen allegedly stabbed another female multiple times with a knife. The 17-year-old victim was taken to Ocean Children's Hospital to be treated for injuries. She spent 2 days in the hospital to be treated for stab wounds and continued to peripheral injuries. I want I want the youth and our community to understand that there are serious consequences to engaging in criminal behavior, especially inside of school. This violent behavior will not be tolerated, and my office will continue to aggressively prosecute these cases. And youth part said Erie County District Attorney John J. Flynn. The 16-year-old is currently being held without bail at the Erie County Youth Services Center. A temporary order of protection has been issued on behalf of the victim and is term effect. Okay, my thoughts on this is that, and one person said this. I forgot who said it. It starts at home. Okay, it starts at home, and when you bring horrible behavior from home to school, it can catch up with you. And a lot of parents don't test charge their children or discipline their children. They let their children run all over them. They let their children be the man or the woman of the house. They let their children get away with so much until something bad's happening on the outside. And the parent of the 16-year-old is probably thinking to herself that she should have been doing a better job parenting. For your child to bring a knife to school instead of a 17-year-old child, that means that they saw something at home. Okay, they saw violence at home and brought it to elsewhere. And this 16-year-old is facing up to 7 years in prison. Because she's a female, she's facing up to 7 years. If this was a male, they've been asking for at least 20 to 25 years in prison. And this is why women don't get, and this is why women get away with so much and escape justice. Because they're getting slapped on the wrist for serious charges. There's no way she should be facing only up to 7 years in prison. That's not that's not teaching her a valuable lesson. That's not teaching women, period, a valuable lesson. That's teaching them to be tougher and and violent, more violent. We're not teaching them by giving them a 7 year sentence or giving them a deal and giving them 7 years on a plea deal. The plea deal she would have got from me if I was a judge would have at least been 15 years because we're not teaching, okay? We're not teaching the youth anything about responsibility by slipping with low numbers. That's why we continue seeing shootings, stabbings, beatings, all that going around in the community because the judges are not giving teens harsh sentences for serious crimes. And we got to do better. We have got to do better. We are failing the youth and we are failing our communities. But it's up to the judges and the courts to put a stop to these bogus plea deals. Because it's easy to get into trouble and it's hard to get out of it. But you put yourself in that situation when you commit the crime. Uh, the 17-year-old deserves justice. Nobody deserves to be stabbed, shot, or some more. And the 16-year-old is going to do some time for it. Do I think she needs to only do 7 years? Absolutely not. Because that 7 years is not going to teach her right from wrong. It's not going to teach her it's not going to teach her what she did to that 17-year-old student. What she did was wrong. It's not going to teach her 7 years. Not going to change somebody. Hard times is going to change her. Now I understand if a record is clean, but I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, though, this is ridiculous. It is sad, and you gotta start holding juveniles responsible. That comment, subscribe, comment down below, and turn your post notifications on so you're notified every single time I drop a new video. Our last story is a story that I never talked about because I feel like I want to everything come out and then give the story. I feel like that's the respectful thing to do in this case. I feel like me, I just didn't want to, release part of the story. I wanted to everything was done and covered. So, so, couple is found guilty in the death of 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney. And Birmingham, Alabama. So Birmingham man is convicted for a role in kidnapping of Camille Cupcake McKinney, Kamille, Cupcake, Cupcake McKinney, McKinney. A federal jury on Friday convicted a Birmingham man for kidnapping and conspiracy to kidnap a minor victim, announced U.S. Attorney Prim F. Escalona and Federal Bureau of Investigation acting special agent in charge Felix A. Rivera Espera. The jury returned its guilty verdict against Patrick DeVon Stokworth, 32, after 3 days of testimony before his chief U.S. District Court Judge L. Scott Kugler. Stokworth was convicted of one count of kidnapping and one count of conspiracy to kidnap a minor victim, arising out of events which occurred in October 2019. The jury further found that the minor victim death resulted from the kidnapping. Stokworth faces life in prison. According to the evidence presented at trial on October 12, 2019, Stokworth traveled in a Toyota Sequoia with a close conspirator to the Tom Brown Village housing development located in Birmingham, Alabama, and kidnapped 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney. Her body was found 10 days later. Today, the jury held the defendant accountable for his actions and victimizing one of the most vulnerable victims in our community, a 3-year-old child. His office remains dedicated to prosecuting those criminals who prey on children, as Canona said, just as a search for the victim involved many of our local, state, and federal partners. The trial this week also would not have been successful without these agencies. I'm grateful for their hard work and dedication. While today's verdict does not take away from praying for Camille's family or every word in their life, they can they can never fail. They at least know we are one step closer to justice being served on those responsible. But very sad. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Birmingham Police Department investigated the case with assistance from the United States Marshal Services. Chief of the Criminal Division Lloyd C. Peoples and Assistant U.S. Attorneys Blake Milner and Brittany Baird prosecuted the case. Here's the news conference. Mm. And this is Camille Cupcake McKinney. This precious angel was taken from this earth by two evil monsters. Now here's the news conference. I'll put it up. So it says start with to police Cupcake McKinney was choked to death. So here's the update a month ago.
Peacock is the place to watch Hallmark this holiday season. Happy holidays!
Hang on, give me a second.
Decide to lead as an Army officer.
After 3 years, a guilty verdict in the deadly kidnapping of 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinney. Good afternoon. It took a federal jury in Birmingham just an hour to convict Patrick Stallworth.
Stallworth faces mandatory life without parole now for his federal conviction. ABC 3340's Valerie Bell talked with the prosecution and defense after the trial.
It took the jury an hour and 2 minutes to reach a verdict. When the guilty verdict was read, the McKinney family looked relieved. Some tears were even shed. Some homicide detectives who worked the case were also in the courtroom and were emotional. Patrick Stallworth had no expression.
Several times during trial, I couldn't help but turn around and look at the family and notice that there's somebody missing from that picture.
Camille Cupcake McKinney would be 6 now, in the first grade, with all of her dreams ahead of her.
We can't do anything to bring her back to the family, but hopefully today we brought some justice.
Over the 5-day trial, prosecutors had more than 20 witnesses and 100 pieces of evidence to prove their case to the jury.
We gave our best shot.
Says Patrick Stallworth's defense attorney, Derek Collins.
People, felt like, doing something sexually to a young child is just the worst thing you can do, and it is. But, that was never proven. But people still hang on to that.
Collins says there's still a fight through possible appeals or collateral process.
He was a victim of Derek Brown.
Brown's federal trial is scheduled for November. A jury will decide her fate then. For now, the McKinney family tells ABC 3340 justice was served today.
We all went and spoke to the family right afterwards, and seeing the expressions and the relief on their face, I wouldn't have to get a paycheck for anything that I've done on this case for that. That's the reward enough.
Judge Scott Kugler says sentencing should happen within the next 120 days or so, maybe sooner. In Birmingham, Valerie Bell, ABC 3340 News.
And once the federal trial is concluded for Derek Brown and Patrick Stallworth, each will still be tried in state court on capital murder charges, but those trial dates have not yet been set.
Okay. My closing thoughts about this story is that this child would have been 6 years old today. Secondly, these two animals, that's what they are, animals, needs to spend the rest of their life behind bars, plus other added death penalty on top of it. I'm to the point where they need every sentence allowed under Texas law. Sorry, under Alabama law. Because this was heinous and brutal. To choke a child to death. I mean, just how? And then think that you was gonna get away with it. We gotta do better, people. Gotta do better. Gotta do better. Because we're setting ourselves up for failure. That's exactly what we are doing. We are setting ourselves up for failure. And I said this on my YouTube channel a while back, and even months ago, a couple days ago, whatever. I'd be saying, do not trust people, okay, about the children who you do not know. I don't care if you met somebody, you dance somebody you know for a year or a month. That's a bad sign to being around children, especially if you know somebody's history or background. You should never do that. And if you're friends with a person, you have a horrible record. I don't care if they even hit a child once or get a misdemeanor. Do not allow that person to ever be your friend again and have the opportunity to be around your children because that's a bad sign. Gotta do better, people. We have to do better. And um, I'm glad that the McKinney family have justice and that they could face these evil monsters and just ask them why and get a truthful, try to get a truthful answer at these criminals' mouth. And when they get to prison, yeah, they're not gonna make it. Knowing that they killed a 3-year-old child, the best place for them is death row, if not protective custody, because they're not gonna make it. But they're not. They're not gonna make it. They don't like child killers in prison. They don't like chumos in prison. They don't like anything in prison. You go to prison, you gotta be. You gotta be. I'm telling you, you gotta be quiet in prison. Plus, because this is a national story, they probably already hit the prison. So, when they definitely is gonna take them protective custody. But when they're in jail, they're definitely going to also be in protective custody. You commit crimes, you time. And let's um, chant her name, and let's always chant our children names. Our children will never die in vain. Let's get justice for every child who went through agony and pain by either their families, a stranger, anybody who victimized them, killed them, anything. Let's say their names. Let's say these children names and give these children a voice. I am one of a kind, which means that there's a lot of me out here who are advocating for children. You have me, you have AFC Podcast, you have PGT Time, you have forgot her name. But you have a lot out here who advocate for children. And shout out to those people who are giving our children a voice. A voice to speak up for themselves against the evil people who are always around them. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos today. I hope that you know what I'm saying, put out a uh, positive message for you guys to tell you guys that if you're going through something, if you you know what I'm saying, if these stories really like you know get you down, we gotta start, what I'm saying, doing better within ourselves and advocating for those who can advocate for themselves. Thank you guys so much for watching. I see you guys on Monday. Matter of fact, I see you guys on Thursday. Till then, have a great day. And I'll be back on YouTube tomorrow. And see you guys then. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.